This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
But good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck Neil Diamond.
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah. Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker.
I want the ability to time travel.
Dumb. This is stupid. Welcome to the Hoppa. This is Jake. With me, as always, my co-host Adam.
That's right.
In case you didn't have it figured out yet, we are 1 week away from deer season opening here in Ohio,
Oh, yeah.
and it is about to be the fuck on.
We thought we were, we are masters at being so still that we were wearing our camouflage and we knew you couldn't see us.
That's right, but we could see you.
That's right.
Wait a minute.
So anyways, yeah, that's our hunting intro.
Yeah,
Hopefully you like the stealth.
yeah. We'll have a little segment on that later in the show.
Yeah.
But for now, it is...
Your PSA. Who was that guy on Saturday Night Live? Don Pardo?
I don't know.
Tell them what they won, Don Pardo, or was that
I don't know that one. I usually know a lot about that shit, too.
Don Pardo, I
Don
think.
Pardo.
All right, so welcome to the number one common sense podcast in the world. Episode 113. Visit us at theharperguys.com, where you can also find our podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube links. Let's go that route. You can also listen to us everywhere podcasts are found. Ideas, complaints, or just want to looking to say what's up, email us at theharperguys@gmail.com. I haven't obviously had enough to drink yet.
That's okay. You'll get there.
Jesus Christ. As you all know, if you don't know, we don't actually say it all that much, but this is an unedited, obviously, as you can see now, live fucking show.
Always.
Here we go.
Fucking do it live.
You did want to get into deer hunting, didn't you? Or is that going to be later?
We can do it first. I don't care.
Let's go.
Yeah, so deer season opens this week. So, two parts.
Well, in Ohio, is it everywhere?
No, I mean, there are places that they have early season that's open. You get out west and shit to where, like, they've been hunting elk for a couple weeks now.
Elk.
Like, elk are hitting the ground left and right.
Okay.
Big motherfuckers. But no, here in Ohio, bow season starts on Saturday the 30th. So, it'll be a good time. Just a friendly reminder to all y'all that drive out in those areas. So, morning and evenings, make sure that you're keeping your head a little extra on a swivel, looking around for deer that might be getting bumped and headed out into roadways. You should accept that there's going to be a little bit more traffic early in the mornings if you're out on the roads, especially early in the season, because lots of dudes get out there into the woods pretty early, especially early in the year. So it's going to be on. We have done a lot of work this year getting ready for it, man. You excited?
Yeah. Now, I haven't historically, for the past few years, hunted opening weekend.
Yeah.
I've come in the woods later, you know, whatever. So I don't think this is my first opening weekend, but it might be. But
I'm pretty sure it is. If we're being honest.
I'm jacked, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. Like I said, we've done a lot of work for it, between the three of us this year getting ready for it. Like, I feel like we've got good places. We've got good setups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've put a little bit of time in practice into where we're confident in our equipment,
And I did more a couple days ago.
Yeah.
It was
nice.
Saturday evening.
Yeah.
I went up to the range.
Yeah.
And there was only one other guy there. I'm like, this is nice.
That is nice.
But I didn't even calculate that we're only a couple weeks away and that place should be packed.
Yep.
And this third guy walked in. He said, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "How you doing?" He goes, "This place was jumping this morning." I'm like, "I bet it was."
Oh man.
It's all starting to filter in. Like, yeah, there's people getting ready for the fucking season.
It is on. There are a few things that I don't mind. I'll open up the floodgates. Anybody that wants to send us a little hate our direction, I don't really care. A couple things that we have going on for us that you don't get everywhere you go, right? In the great state of Ohio, you cannot bait a turkey, but you can sure as shit bait deer. So that's something that we do very strategically. We got 2 different areas that have some extra grub for them to eat down in there. You know, I think that we've proven over the years it's a tactic that works. You know,
You probably hunt with crossbows too, right?
fuck yeah, we do. Why make the game any fucking harder
Hey.
than it has to be?
Hunt smarter, not harder.
Yeah. And I know I've told this story on the show probably more than once, but I'll give you the quick and dirty one more time. I had been deer hunting for probably 7-8 years, and I had an opportunity to buy a compound bow very cheap. I bought it. I practiced with that fucking thing all summer long, got very proficient with that bow. It was the first week in November. I was up in my tree stand. I had a beautiful mainframe 8-point with split brow, so he was a perfect 10-point. Come in chasing a doe. He was standing broadside at 30 yards. I put it on him. I let an arrow fly, and he dropped. It's called ducking the string.
Yeah.
He dropped, and that was it. I sold that bow 2 days later, bought the fastest crossbow I could buy at that point in time, and I've never looked back, and I have no intention to. They make crossbows faster and faster now, to the point where if you're taking a shot that's 30 or 35 yards and in, they can't duck that string.
Yeah.
Unless they're staring at you when you shoot, but even at that, those fucking things are cruising now. They're not coming in at 250 feet per second anymore. It's 400 feet per second, you know? So, yeah, so if you all want to hate on us for baiting and using crossbows, knock yourself out. You still got to get in within range. You still got to get the shot. You still got to have all your shit under control.
We're still overpopulated.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
bring it.
that's something else that we're good about. I mean, we're not out there shooting yearling does with milk dripping out their mouths. You know what I mean? Like
right.
there are people that the first 2 deer they see every year are the 2 they shoot, you know?
Right.
And not that I won't shoot the first deer that I see if it's the right deer, you know? Like that's the plan.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, most everybody's looking for a buck in the first half season, and then
Yeah.
at some point you're like, okay, well, if it hasn't happened yet, where are the ladies at?
It usually, like for me, that typically starts the Tuesday of gun week. If I don't have my buck down throughout all of bow season, and then opening day of gun, I don't get a crack at him. Starting about the second day of gun, it's like, all right, it's time to really start filling the freezer. I mean, we don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
right.
year in, year out, if we want to put the time into it, we can fill all of our tags every year, and for the most part, we do.
Right.
You know, I mean, we give a lot of it away. You know,
Sure.
super ethical about the entire thing.
Well, and you have people that also ask you for, a full freezer, and they pay for the processing. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
And Mary did that for years with you.
Yep, she sure did. You know, and like we have, there's a food bank in Canton that we've given 2 to last
Oh,
year.
never even thought of that.
Yeah, there's a food bank in Canton. We gave 2 to last year, and then there's the lady that lives right down by the property. Her husband passed away a few years back. She lives alone. Super nice older lady. She's an old school girl to where she does all the cleaning and stuff herself. So we take them
You
over.
just take it all down, huh?
Well, I mean, they're gutted perfectly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're nice and clean when they get down there. But yeah, she does all the skinning, cutting, packing, all of it, and she's internally grateful for it. You know, I mean, she eats that shit for months. You know, so.
You think living in that area, you guys wouldn't be like her only supplier, though?
But we're people that know her, and we're people that she trusts.
Trust.
You know
Trust
what I mean?
is a big thing.
She knows that we're not out there driving around with them in our car for
You
3
can't
days.
hardly trust anybody in this fucking world anymore, anyway. So
No. Well, and me and you have talked about that. Hunters are the biggest collection of wonderful people and fucking assholes you will ever find in
Oh,
the
my
same
God.
fucking group. I mean, you get people that are super ethical and will do anything to help, and you get other people that will fucking hunt people's land they're not fucking supposed to, steal cameras, fucking tree stands, you know, fucking shoot deer out of fucking season, shoot deer at fucking night. That's illegal as fuck, you know, and we don't participate in any of that. Like, we are definitely above the board, you know what I mean? Like, we stick to the rules, you know? I mean, and it sucks. I mean, look, I've talked about this before. I wish that there was a space and an opportunity in this world. I would love to legally one time bow hunt at night. I think that would be fucking sick. Like night vision, you know what I mean?
Oh.
The way those fucking things move at fucking night because they're nocturnal, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know how fucking sick that would fucking be? Like,
Because they would be everywhere, more than likely.
Oh, I mean, they move all fucking night long. I mean, you sit on one of those field edges, that's got a little bit of feed in one corner, dude. Fucking deer all night long. It's just a fucking parade of fucking animals out there, So fucking fun. So
You'd have to play the game, see how close they can get to me.
yeah, I'm jacked for it. Now, don't get it twisted though. One of the things that I'm also very much looking forward to is so this is opening weekend, right? So this is a tip that I'm going to pass on to you guys, and me and Adam talked about this over the last week a little bit via text messages. A lot of the pro hunters will tell you that early season, before the rut gets here, they're not chasing each other around yet, that you should avoid going out in the mornings if possible, unless it's the only time you have.
Your mic stand's about to fall off the table there.
No, it's good. I can see it. Okay. It looks like it from over there, but I'm fully on.
All right. Well,
it's not even a paper football touchdown.
I'm gonna interject here. So
Do it.
Jake, we were, like you said, texting back and forth, and anytime I've gone out with Jake, it's almost been 100%. You get up at, I don't know, 5:15. You get ready, or somewhere early, and you're wiping the sleep out of your eyes until you get down to, and we drive a little over an hour, and it's, to me, that's as much of the fun, just getting shit up, getting going and getting your stuff together, and what did I forget, and all that shit, and trying to get through the day.
Yeah.
That's fun to me. So not only am I looking forward to hunting, but that is just an adventure in itself.
Yeah.
Pulling into the the car wash because it's lit and nothing else is. You pull into the car wash because it's lit and you can get your gear on. But then Jake drops the bomb. He's like, "Bro, we're not going until like 3 in the afternoon." I'm like, "What?" But then he explains to me, exactly what he's going to explain right now.
Yeah. So what you end up with a lot of times is, because deer, when they're not in the rut cycle, they'll move for the most part, the first 2 to 3 hours in the morning and the last 2 or 3 hours before it gets dark, right? Dawn and dusk. That's when they move. But during regular early season, they're not in those modes to where they're kind of home base-ish. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see a lot of the same deer on your cameras time and time again, especially earlier, through your summer months like that and into the early part of hunting season. If you go into your stand early in the morning and you bump deer out and it's not any kind of rut activity, there's a good chance that those deer aren't coming back for the day. Like, they do not like to be spooked. You know what I mean? They're very timid animals as it is.
Well, plus, how many months has it been normal?
Right. I mean, hunting season has been over since the first Saturday of February.
Right. So it's been quite a good blip.
Almost
since
8 months.
They've been in. We all know that as soon as the guns start, or not guns, but as soon as the death starts happening, the death toll starts piling up. They know what's going on, and they get into that mode. I mean, it's in their DNA by now.
Oh, it is.
For years, decades. This happens, and that's why they get spooked so easy and all that shit.
Yep. And there's nothing saying that we won't bump some deer on the way out. I firmly believe, especially with the amount of deer activity that we have out there, with our food sources that are going on, we're probably going to bump some deer going out. But when you bump deer at night, they have the rest of the entire night where they're active to move around. They'll come back, check those same spots, and like, all right, everything's cool. I don't know what that was, but it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not actively freaking them out,
Yep.
And one of the other things, if you do hunt and you're like, oh, I only hunt the rut, or oh, I only hunt gun, blah, 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 blah. All kinds of evidence shows that the first week to 10 days of season, a lot of big bucks go down because they're finishing their summer patterns. They're still coming out a little earlier, feeding a little bit to where.
Well, you kind of catch them off guard too, a little bit.
Yeah. Then you get a 3-week period in October. That's called the October lull. And that's because they basically are like, they can feel the testosterone building. They're starting to get a little more sleep. You know what I mean? They're way more nocturnal until the rut actually kicks in. Now, prime rut this year in Ohio is going to be way early, according to moon phase, to where it's going to be the last week of October. It's not usually until the second week of November.
Oh.
So we might get a little extended rut period going on this year. So
what week in Ohio is gun this year?
it's always the week after Thanksgiving. So it opens the Monday after Thanksgiving and closes that Sunday.
I think I've only hunted one of those with you.
Yep. So
I'll probably be back out unless I score big early.
it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. There's a whole bunch of good deer on camera. You know what I mean? That's one of those things people always get a little wiggity jiggity about, like, oh, somebody takes a big buck, oh, they're not happy for each other because that's a deer that they can't take now, We're never like that. We're excited for each other. You take a deer, great. There's way more out there. We'll find another one.
I mean, with the one Josh took, and even yours last year, I mean, yours was the record before Josh's, right?
Right.
So, I mean, how can you say? I mean, how many years into this are you at that property?
Right.
A lot.
A lot.
And so you never know what you're going to get.
No. So let me ask you a question. So
Yeah.
just we haven't talked about all this yet. So let's say that we're down on Saturday and you get a great big doe right in
Yeah.
front of you. Yay or nay?
No, I'm not early.
No,
It's too early.
Even though you've never taken a deer,
Yeah.
like we're trying to christen your first deer.
Well, I could have killed many deer,
Yeah,
all ladies.
yeah,
I had a chance at the end of the very last day. That was the funniest thing.
yeah.
No, it wasn't the last day. Next to last day.
Yes.
It was the second. We had the third, I think.
Uh-huh.
And I pulled the trigger on my first buck.
Yep.
And it's ever dubbed thumb drive because my thumb got in the way of the bowstring and I fucked it up.
Yeah.
And I hit him. We found blood,
Yeah.
but it was we're pretty sure it was high. It just scraped his back or something.
Yeah. Just a flesh wound.
Yeah, maybe
all right.
maybe up on his neck where it's a little bit more meatier. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm going in like I always do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I could have shot at this point 7 doe.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been right there. Actually, last year in the morning before I shot at that buck,
Yeah.
I was down in. There were 4 females that came right in. They were 25 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was waiting for the one to turn. I almost because she was gray. She just looked more mature. She was freaking huge. And I was like, well, we are a day and a half. Well, that was the morning. We're 2 days away from being done here.
Sure.
So I was going to take her. And then the way she walked out, and then, I'm still getting educated on a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
She never turned broadside. She kind of just scattered away. And
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that I could have still shot her with a chest shot.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, no, I'm still going to wait. I plan on being in the woods a lot this year.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So what's you're looking like 8-point-ish? Is like that kind of like
It doesn't, I mean, I'm not going to shoot a little Joey, but, but I don't know, something like that.
I hate to see you be too selective. If you get a good
It's not
opportunity
about
with
selective. That was the first, you don't remember, I hadn't seen bucks
Yeah.
in the woods. That one that came up behind me, and it was just perfect.
Yeah.
Come to the edge of the field, stopped. I freaking had him.
Yeah. You did everything right. You just thumb drive got in the way.
Thumb drive got in the way. That fucking hurt, by the way. That's so cold out.
Hey man.
But I'm a good shot. You've
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
I'm very consistent. It's not about it was a freak thing. I had that guy. Yeah, nerves are always a part of it. I'm sure even if you've killed 50 deer, that's still, you get nervous at that moment.
If I stop getting any kind of like excited,
Yeah.
I'm gonna find something else to do with my time.
But I wasn't like trembling. I was just like, it's the heat is on. Let's go.
Right. It's go time.
And I thought I'm like, oh, Josh is here. We're all 3 here.
Yep.
I'm like, this is gonna be it. He was filming it.
Yep.
I need to produce that, by the way. I need to throw that up on YouTube.
Here you go.
I got some footage of other things, but
Yeah.
I wanted to put a kind of a montage about from that moment
To now.
to opening day.
A lot of shit's happened in a year.
Yeah.
That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting, and we don't have to lament on hunting all night long here, but I will say that I think it's kind of interesting is the very first year that I hunted, I shot a doe and didn't get her. It was a terrible shot. I mean, I was nervous, a wreck. You know what I mean?
Well, you went there with your family, though.
Right.
You gotta this is where you become a man.
Right. Well, that same day, Josh, first day in the woods, first hour in the woods, Josh shoots an 8-point.
Like ever in the woods?
Ever. Like this was so long ago that we've got pictures of him with that first deer in the woods wearing a Chicago Bulls starter jacket.
I was gonna say he probably looks like a little kid.
Right, with a goatee.
Yeah.
Right. So like I hear him shoot, and then next thing you know, everybody's hooping and hollering. You know what I mean? So I shot that doe, didn't get her, went back out the next day, didn't get anything. You know what I mean? And I waited. I had to wait that whole next off season.
So you went towards the end of this year.
Yeah.
The end of the season.
Muzzleloader.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the first time I had ever hunted to where it, and I bow hunted the next year for the first time because I knew I had to get out early.
That
so
shitty bow.
But an old piece of shit, not that compound, a different old piece of shit crossbow. Like
Okay.
this thing sucked, man. Like to look at this thing now, I wouldn't shoot this for fucking nothing. Fucking hunted, had so many deer close, but I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I'd get a deer and I'd be like, and like now, like you can't move like that. Like you
Yeah.
get a deer and like everything's got to be fluid and slow and watching what they're doing to make sure you're not moving while they're watching. And
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole process. I mean,
It's a lot of fun.
there's a lot of control that
Yeah.
goes into it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why it takes a little bit of resolve to do this. But I went through that whole season, and it was the second day of gun of my second year was when I was able to kill my deer. So I've been thinking about you all year with this, like, man, like, you were the same amount of close that I was.
Yeah, but see, the difference is,
Yeah.
and I know you don't understand this, and I mean, I do. Well, I should say, up until that shot last year, I really wasn't in like. You and Josh were more amped for me to take something down than I was, because I'm being a little bit selective. I mean, the deer tags aren't $400. I mean, it's like $30, and I'm
Right.
like, it's not breaking me to not fill my tag.
Yeah.
So I'm out here. Even just being in the woods is a blast for me.
No, I'm with you. I love being out in the woods.
So it's not all about just taking down. But now, there's a little bit more, like when you open that jar of pickles and you fucking start to salivate. There's a little bit more of that, and to where I'm like, yeah.
You wait till the first time you take one home in the back of the truck. That's when,
Well,
from
okay, so-
that on, you're going to be like, all right.
So this is the answer that you're looking for, and this is where I haven't been prior to this year.
yeah.
Prior to this year, I was only going to shoot a buck.
Mm-hmm.
There was no point for me to take a female.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at the point where I want to take something down.
Yep.
I'm going to be a little bit persistent on a buck early,
Yeah.
and then I get to the point where it's later in the season. I'll definitely take a doe.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of them on the property.
Yeah, oh,
It-
yeah.
It will happen.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I want to fill the freezer as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I want to experiment with some venison and have
Yeah.
some fun.
Well, I'm excited for you. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
excited for the season to start, but like you said, last year was a dream season for me and Josh. You know what I mean? Like, this is a new year. There's no deer down in 2023 yet, to where we're all starting from scratch. But I feel like there's nothing I have to prove out there. You know
No.
what I mean? It's all for the joy and the enjoyment of the entire thing. And there will be something to be said for, like, this is part of a maturing process. Like, I will be more excited for you to kill a deer this year than I will be for any deer that I take this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Either way, it's going to be a blast.
yeah. And we're going to hunt Saturday and Sunday afternoon both. Don't worry though. I'm keeping my allegiance to football. I will have the sound off, but you can bet your sweet ass I will have NFL Plus up on my phone.
Couldn't be week 5 when the Browns are off. But
No,
oh well.
nope. Oh, no, nothing saying we can't be out there week 5 too. But until that last hour
I
where it
might
gets
be. I
pretty
got
dark,
nothing going on.
right? I will be following fantasy and watching a little football on my phone while it's a beautiful afternoon to sit in a tree stand. So
Yeah, that's when Jake doesn't ever answer my texts. Of course, then again, when do I remember my phone into the tree stand? Womp womp.
those have been some funny days.
I get the phone wave movement. Like, look at your phone, and I'm like, eh.
Right.
The one time I left it in the truck. The second time we were changing to leave for lunch, I put it on my wheel. I ran over it.
Yeah, you did.
Thankfully, it was soft mud. I ran over the damn thing, and when we came back, didn't realize I still didn't have my phone. Went back into the woods, and I'm like, motherfucker. And then we found it.
It's fucking awesome though. It was still found it. It was
Still,
fine.
It's still right here. It's
Right,
good.
same phone. So yeah, we'll definitely update you guys as the season goes on here. But I'm looking forward to some good time in the woods coming up.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Can't wait for those early fucking mornings.
They're coming.
All right, let's see what we've got here. Oh my God, doing it off my phone.
Here we
Doing
go.
it live.
Doing it live.
All right. So I'm at my wit's end,
Okay.
and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. You think there's something we could do about it, or the leagues should do about it. And I'm talking about officiating, and I'm not just talking about football, and I'm not just a crybaby Browns fan. I've seen this game after game, not non-Browns. Baseball. I don't know that I can remember ever watching as much baseball and the inconsistency with the fucking strike zone.
Dude, it's bad.
They have fixed the plays on the field by replay,
Most of them.
but they still don't get those right. And that part blows my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you one quick example. The game before, or it might have been the same game. It was either the game before or the same game where fisticuffs came and Jose Ramirez knocked down
Yeah.
Tim Anderson in a surprise swing.
Haymaker, yeah.
Yeah. But what led to that, it must have been the same game. What led to that was one of our rookie shortstops, Rocchio is his last name, he tried to turn a single into a double, overslid the bag a little bit. His finger was still on the edge of the bag, and Tim Anderson bumped it off. They went to replay and called him out because of that.
Yeah.
Because after he bumped him, he put the tag on him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
That's not legal.
We're all adults here.
Right.
How do you replay that and get it wrong? So but the strike zone is so bad right now. And then there's people like Angel Hernandez that have been in the business for 30 plus years, and he's one of the worst all-time historic umpires. Apparently they love this shit, but now they're going to go to an automated strike zone after a few years. It's going to be in the minors for a couple years.
It's already there.
Right. It's going to take some years to get it right in the minors.
They're doing pretty good with it, man.
Well, I can't wait. So baseball might, in my opinion, may be fixed. As much as I don't want any technology in our games, sometimes you have to if you want to fucking be able to sit here and watch it. I'm a fucking fan. I sit here and watch the goddamn games.
Yeah.
Not like I don't just have it on. I don't know.
Do you? I don't want to see them go completely.
No. You need umpires to keep the peace for nothing else.
But would you be in favor of a system where you can challenge balls and strikes?
No, that would take too long.
But you only get so many, just like anything else.
Make that digital. It's that part's over with. The rest of it, once again, I'm not a fan of this. I never wanted a digital strike zone.
Yeah.
But after watching this and being a mature male at this point, I'm like, what the fuck? And here's my son, 15 years old, and he's pulling his hair out. And he's just getting into the sports, and sitting down, he watches fucking baseball more than me this year.
Yeah.
So it's great. I hear my mother, he's not cussing. His mom would kick his ass, but
Sure.
I high five him when he pulls one out every once in a while. but getting into last Sunday, watching the Browns.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Deshaun Watson. Now, Deshaun hasn't been Deshaun, and he may not ever be. He looks a lot like what he did at the end of last year, a little timid, not nearly as bad as Troy Aikman would say he was. He hasn't done nothing for this team. That's pretty good, wasn't it? He did do pretty decent. He had some mistakes. He's not, like I said, he's not what he was. But I think he's the ability to stretch shit out, the ability to run and make plays on it with his feet, huge.
But he needs to do that more. Too many times in that Pittsburgh game, he's just sitting back there. Dude, he's got to get his ass moving.
Hold on. I watched that game as close as anybody. Most of that first quarter, he would go back, and he then all of a sudden, within a split second, like when he should be releasing, he's trying to make something happen. When there's a fine line there, right? You've got maybe a half a second that he needs to either decide what to do or to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the guy. You can't see the rest of the field because it's all on him. So I can't tell if it's just him not having a window with anybody, or if he's just, and then he goes out, he makes a couple stutter steps, and he looks stupid, and he's either getting tackled or it breaks open, and he can get 8 yards, whatever.
Yeah.
But watching that, it makes me, he's trying to do too much on his own instead of maybe trusting some of his receivers. But the one thing he did in week 1, which he did a lot last year, was he threw a lot of balls at their feet. Week 2, not one ball at the feet.
But how many balls out of bounds? One of the questions I have is, I think that Deshaun has a ways to go yet before he's fully comfortable with everything. Here's the reality of the situation: you ain't getting rid of him. Nobody's going to take that contract for the next 5 years. He is your quarterback.
That's okay, but that's not the basis of this point.
No, but what I'm saying is, I like what Watson's doing. They got to start using the middle of the field. You have the biggest tight end in the NFL.
Yes,
you have to throw something over the middle. Every throw goes to the outside.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Yeah, Njoku needs utilized way more, and they're going to have to because. You got Hunt and you got Ford, and they're going to be okay, but they're not Chubb. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But you got to utilize more of you got to get more. The thing about Deshaun right now, he has to trust his guys.
Yeah.
Whether he does or doesn't, he needs to trust his guys, get more people involved. But the whole point about this officiating bullshit.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson had 2 face masks. That they grabbed his face mask. The first one was blatant. He was running. They grabbed and no call.
Yep.
Second one was when the guy he was going down. They punched the ball out. It ended up being a fumble because it went over his back somehow. I don't know how that fucking happened.
Right.
But at that same time, somebody comes in, you can see his head get twisted. You know what? I don't blame Deshaun. He got fucking pissed.
Yeah.
He lost his fucking temper.
Yeah.
He fucking took it out on the Steelers, which, you know what? Fuck that. We lost the game at this point. I'm glad. If you know what? It's like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and say that Myles Garrett should be swinging helmets, but hey, if he could swing a helmet at anybody, in my book, a Pittsburgh Steeler. All right? So why not throw a couple guys to the ground? Yeah, you're going to get penalized, so what? He was pissed off. He was frustrated. And the way the officiating was, I can't blame him. The very end of the game wasn't pass interference, but it was motherfucking defensive holding. They should have at least got a reset, 5 yards, and a first down. Do we know if they would have won? No. Do we? But at least call the defensive holding.
Yeah, I mean, make the right call.
That was a mistake. So we've got two. Both those face masks that Deshaun received were way before his two that he gave.
But if you watch the second one, dude, his finger gets stuck on the second one. Like
the one, he's like moving the guy down and throws him down.
But okay, so the first one, he clearly grabs it on the first one because it was like a stiff arm, but then he latched on. But that dude grabs his arm. Like he's trying to pull his arm out. But the second one is when he kind of stiff-armed, but the guy's helmet was turned. You can see his pinky and his ring finger.
So you think he was trying to shake him off?
No. He had it stuck in there initially, and he couldn't get it out. And he tried to turn his hand and get it out. He didn't pull that guy. He didn't drag that guy down. All I'm saying is the second one I didn't feel like was dirty. The first one I felt like that was like, hey, fuck you.
So I'm analyzing the Browns game, but I bet you could go through all of the NFL.
Oh, yeah, there's no consistency with those calls. Dude, the holding is out of fucking control.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We are in a fucking age where this shit should be getting right. Somehow.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's reviewable or not. That fucking piss. That's not a reviewable play. That is the biggest bullshit. And it doesn't even have to be a coach's challenge.
Yeah.
If it's questionable, the fucking umpire should get together and fucking say, okay, let's take 5 minutes here and see if we can get this right. The end of the game should at least been looked at. Just real quick.
Agreed.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a second here to look at that. See, I mean, I know a penalty should not be reviewed, but should it?
Right.
Should it? Are we in baseball? It's always been we're trying to get these plays right, and a bad call shouldn't end the game.
I don't disagree. I mean, especially like the play you're talking about. You can see clearly in the replays
two hands,
but like his right hand is actively pulling his jersey off of his shoulder pads.
Right.
Like I don't give a shit what you think whether you think it was interference. That's a fucking penalty. Right?
Well, and it would be one thing if it was hand fighting and maybe something got in there and it was close, but you can see he's got two hands underneath the pads.
I don't disagree.
I just can't believe that they come out and there's it's just frustrating. It's frustrating as a fan, even if I wasn't a Browns fan watching that. I'd be like, why am I even? And that's what I questioned after that game. I had a kick in the fucking nuts losing Chubb. Probably the whole NFL should have had a kick in the nuts for that. I mean, not only with your fantasy players or whatever.
He's the best pure running back in the NFL. Like I don't care what anybody says. You can talk about other guys that might put up more fantasy points because they catch more yards and shit like that. He is the best pure running back in the NFL.
Yeah,
he's a hit for the league. He's an all-pro running back, and he's a fucking animal.
Right.
I don't love the fucking hit though.
We're gonna get into that.
All right.
So now before we get into that, I want to go into the next part of Monday night, and I know you don't love all these announcers. I know who's the guy you hate.
Collinsworth.
You hate Collinsworth.
Holy shit.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't hate Collinsworth.
Yeah, no, it's fucking.
I don't hate Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
I don't hate. Tony Romo is actually my favorite. Is he even doing it anymore?
Mm-hmm.
He
love Tony Romo.
He calls it like you and I would, in my opinion.
Love Mike Tirico too. Tirico is fucking great.
Yeah, he's okay. But Joe Buck had no problem with Joe Buck. But man, the game starts. I don't even know if the Browns did have the ball first. Here comes Deshaun Watson out of the first huddle. And he's got to say, and I'm not defending Deshaun Watson, but he's got to say, and here's the guy with the sexual assaults, that went on, I'm like, no. I'm sorry. He was never found guilty on any of those. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but defamation I know this is being silly, but is it? It's on live TV, and he's telling us that he's a guy that did, sexual assault problems and issues. Should Deshaun Watson be able to sue his ass?
I don't know. I don't love that though. Whatever
You know what-
happened,
you know
he
what they
took his
did?
suspension like a champion.
You know what they did on opening day?
Hmm.
Jim Brown, honoring Jim Brown. The first thing out of the guy's mouth on the air, I don't know who it was.
Wife beater.
Well, he had some domestic abuse problems. Are you fucking kidding me? It's the day they're honoring Jim Brown. Shut your fucking mouth. Like you said, you know what? I'm not pro, domestic violence, but it was in a different time.
It was in a different time, and I'm also, as you get older, the worst moment of your life, unless you purposefully kill somebody, the worst moment of your life should not be the number one thing that always defines you. Period.
Ben Roethlisberger was, I always call him a rapist, but a lot of people forgive him for that. They don't call him a rapist anymore.
You think when they have him back to Pittsburgh to celebrate those championship teams,
They're gonna
and
have
him
to
going to the Hall
say
of
on
Fame,
TV?
and him going to the Ring of Honor, you think that that's what they're going to lead with? No fucking way.
He was never convicted of rape, right?
That's what I'm saying. They're going to exonerate him for what he did.
Deshaun Watson was never convicted of sexual misconduct. It was, what Deshaun Watson, I don't, he did what he did. Does it make me feel good? No. But did he ever get fucking prosecuted for it? No.
No, and why?
Exactly.
Because they all took the money.
So,
we're realists. Let's be honest. He probably grabbed somebody's ass that didn't want him to. There's a whole lot of girls that got naked for the money and for the prestige.
yeah, there was some girls making a few $1,000s that day, and we're just fine with it.
That's what I'm saying.
So fuck Joe Buck.
Yeah.
Or Joe Fucktard, or whatever you want to call him. But, do you think that's on him to say that? Or do you think that's on the network?
I think it's on both, but at the same time, I think that he also, I don't know if you noticed this how many times in the course of the game did he say Cleveland trying to go 2-0 for the first time since 1993? Cleveland trying to go 2-0 for the
then
first
they
time
had to
since
post that
1993.
fucking bullshit again.
Right.
Okay.
Hey,
listen. They love to make fun of the Browns for those last 26 years, but there's a reason that happened, because we were a fucking retread after Art Modell took the fucking team. It's not like we've been here forever and this is what's happened.
But also, this team has to win games. I like to see them win a game like last week. What I hope is that they learn something from that, because games like that, they have to win going forward. This team is built to win. Anybody that's an expert in the NFL will tell you that top to bottom, this roster is one of the most talented rosters in the entire league.
I don't disagree.
So they're trying to change the culture by winning more. So lamenting over all of these problems that they've had, to me, it's just not a good fucking look.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
You don't do this to other teams like this.
No, and if dog rabbit, but had Chubb been in the game the whole time, Browns don't lose that game. Because
if they don't turn it over 4 times, they win that game. Your defense is lights fucking out.
I know, but you have to also understand, when the point that Chubb went out, the Pittsburgh offense hadn't even found their ass from a hole in the ground.
They never did. They made one play.
One play.
If you look at that game, you look at that entire game,
Yeah.
those are the only points actually manufactured by the offense. Every other point they had, 2 defensive touchdowns, the field goals were both off of other turnovers.
Now, the second defensive turnover, that was legit. That was exactly, that was a beautiful play. Guy come in, fucking sack the quarterback, the ball flips out. Can't take that away from those guys. Now, the first one, that was just a fucking mistake.
They should have
error.
cut Harrison Bryant.
Well, yeah, he dropped the second one later, and it could have been the same goddamn thing.
But he also didn't make the tackle.
Yeah.
He was fucking right there and fucking lollygagged that shit for the first 3 steps and then I better go because no one's going to. He should have made that tackle 1 yard from where he fucking picked that ball off.
So they got lucky with that first touchdown. That's huge luck.
Yeah.
It hit the one guy and then it bounced off to the other guy. Come on, immaculate reception, whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
or interception. So the Steelers are lucky they won that game.
Yeah.
Because if Chubb doesn't go out, they lose that game no matter what. Because he was just going to get stronger. They had no answer for him at all.
Yeah.
It was magnificent.
Right.
But now we're going to get into the third topic. Just a business.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Can I interject with one
Yes.
other thing first? Because I know where you're going to go with this, but similar to what we're talking about with the Browns, have you seen anything going on with the Bears?
No.
So
That's why I come here every 2 weeks for you to fill me in.
So they're supposed to be another team on the rise, right? Dude,
Oh, they are.
fucking disaster.
Yeah, you said it was bad.
Well, and then it got really bad this week. So I don't know if Chicago put themselves in a position. They got the ball back with 4 minutes to play. You know what I mean? A touchdown wins the game in Tampa Bay. Not probably one of the best 5 teams in the league, but Tampa Bay is still Tampa Bay. Fucking
Well,
Fields
and
throws the
as-
ugliest
as
interception.
As far hard as it is to say, Baker's playing okay.
Yeah, I mean, but Fields throws the ugliest interception you might see all season. I mean, basically handed it to the fucking guy. He walks in from 6 yards, and the game is now effectively over. But he comes out afterward. He comes out during the week and basically says, because people are like, why are you playing so poorly? Like, we're expecting you to be one of the guys that breaks through this year. And he's like, look at the film. Like, I'm doing what I'm being told I have to do. Like, I can't just play like me because the coaching staff isn't here for that. They came out this week and said this. This is your franchise quarterback now throwing your head coach and your offensive coordinator under the fucking bus.
Is it true, though?
So they ended up having to call an emergency press conference on yesterday and basically were like, look, everybody's frustrated. Nobody's mad at him for what he said. Like, it's the job of the coaches to make sure they have him in a position to succeed. If things need to change, things need to change. And nobody's pushing the panic button, trying to say the right things. But it's like, we watched him fucking ruin Trubisky. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, they could have had Mahomes in that draft. But I think about that. It's like, would that have gone any fucking different with that dipshit fucking coaching staff?
A lot of teams could have had Mahomes. I think the Browns could have even had him.
What do you go, 7 in that draft?
I don't
You know what I mean? But it's like,
at that point, the Browns were picking top 3.
but so excited, and a lot of Browns fans are some kind of de facto Bear fans because of Fields. You know what I mean? Like, and he's got every fucking piece of talent in the world to be an amazing NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? He's smart, he's athletic,
they're
has
just
a
not
big
building
arm.
the playbook around his abilities. Is that it?
Right, like they went out and they have a little bit more talent. Their offensive line, like I'm so mad about the way that they're fucking drafting for him though. Like their offensive line, absolute fucking dog shit. Like it's the worst offensive line in football. You're gonna get the kid fucking killed. And then I don't know if you have fucking seen have you seen Jalen Carter through 2 weeks for Philadelphia? Defensive fucking tackle from Georgia,
Have
right?
not.
Fucking Chicago traded back one fucking spot with Philly in the draft. Takes an offensive lineman. He looks like he's going to be okay. Dude, Jalen Carter is about to wreck this fucking league. He's leading the NFL on like every fucking stat through 2 weeks. He's unblockable. Like the type of guy that changes the entire fucking front of your defense. I'm like, God, I love the Bears and I have since 85, but dude, they're making it hard to keep fucking rooting for him because it's like they're almost like, it almost feels like they're just a bunch of bumbling fucking idiots. They keep hiring head coaches with no fucking head coaching experience, and these guys fucking suck.
Wait, do the Dolans own the Bears?
Dude, I don't know. It's fucking terrible.
Because fuck you, Ball Dolan. Had to get that in.
I mean, fucking close. I mean, you've got all these fucking first-round draft picks wrapped up in this kid, and then you're not letting him just go fucking play his game. And the problem I have with this is this. He has a very similar skill set to Lamar Jackson. Harbaugh, as much as we don't love that fucking last name around here, we don't love the fucking Ravens, but he has basically said, look, this is what my quarterback is. I'm going to let you go play your fucking game.
You have to.
And that's not what they're fucking doing. It's fucking terrible. It's a shit show to fucking watch. They're going to get destroyed again this fucking week. They got to play Kansas City this week. They're going to get fucking lit the fuck up.
That'll be the game they win because sometimes the NFL doesn't fucking make us lick a sense.
Oh, anyway, I digress.
All right. So there's a lot of football in these first few topics, but just a business. You hear that, right? I know it's just business.
Yeah.
After trades,
Sure.
things that happen in the league. I know this is a business.
Yeah.
And it is, right? I mean, because there's millions and billions of dollars involved. Shouldn't really be a business. Should be a fucking game. But when there's that much money involved, I get it, right?
It's a business. For sure.
So,
It's professions.
Nick Chubb, was Nick Chubb a business decision?
What, taking him out?
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, did Tomlin cover it up? Tomlin came out early, like on Friday, and said, "Oh, Mr. Chubb, I respect him so much, Mr. Chubb, Mr. Chubb, Mr. Chubb. Fuck you, Tomlin." I already said there's no way the Steelers win that game without Chubb being in the whole time. This type of business decision was a real thing at one time, taking hits out on people.
It was.
You think that's really gone? I mean, it wasn't gone that long ago. We had a head coach get fired for it.
Yeah.
You don't think there's anybody? Chubb goes down. That changes the whole landscape of the division.
What I don't like is this, is Fitzpatrick came out afterwards and he said, look, I don't give a shit what anybody says about me. It wasn't a dirty hit.
He said just today, I'm not a dirty player.
Yeah.
You know what? Why are you saying that?
Because he's getting so much flack for it.
Good.
But because he came out and said, as soon as I saw that hole open up and I knew who was coming through it, I knew I was going low. That was a decision that was made immediately. The problem I have with that is this. If you do that same hit on a quarterback, you are fined and suspended for a game immediately. thrown out of the fucking game. This isn't a fucking negotiation. This isn't a judgment call. If you do that to a quarterback, you are fucking done, right? If you can do that to a quarterback and get that kind of reparations for it, that kind of in trouble for it, why the fuck isn't it the same for a running back? Because a guy like that changes a fucking football game. 1,010%. And he admits that he fucking went low on purpose. Do I really think he was trying to actively blow his knee out?
Listen,
I'm not saying that.
I don't think he was trying to blow his knee out. I think he was trying to put him out of the game, though.
He wasn't trying to not put him out of the game. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm not sitting here saying that the guy was trying to end his season or his career.
Right.
But what I'm saying is he was trying to fucking hurt him.
Right, and there's got to be a rule. So, like, the other problem with the situation is I don't know how many times you've watched the play. That other dude was hanging on to him when he got there, right? If you do that with an offensive lineman, if I'm blocking you as an offensive lineman, and a guy comes in from the side and takes his fucking legs out to take him out of the play, that's fucking high-lowing somebody, completely illegal. It's a fucking 15-yard penalty. If you do it twice, you're kicked out of the fucking game. Again, why do we not protect a running back the same way? A wide receiver goes over the middle because of all the guys that have gotten fucking destroyed. You can't fucking take their head off anymore, even if you use your fucking shoulder. So why the fuck is this still legal in the league? How many times do we have to see this fucking happen?
Because they're running backs and because they are so shifty and fast, and you have to bring them down somehow. But if you do go low and he does get injured, I say that you're out as long as he is.
I just don't love...
No, I'm serious. If you go low, let's say the guy doesn't get hurt, you go low. But if you do injure him, you're out the same amount of fucking time that he is.
I don't disagree with that, but I think that more of what we're looking at as far as a solution is it has to be a strike zone thing, right? You got to go... You're going to make contact.
Thigh level?
It's got to be from the shoulders to above the knee. Like, that's where you can fucking hit a guy.
Yeah, but they're not gonna take away the helmet hits with it, because then the running backs can't lower their helmets. Because a lot of running backs will come in and they'll try to take a guy out.
But they're not allowed to lower a helmet. You lead with a helmet, doesn't matter what position you play, you're in trouble. You can lead with a shoulder.
Not the running backs.
Bullshit.
I've seen plenty of them lead with.
If a running back puts his head down and goes contact to contact, by law, by rule, that's a penalty, and it has to be called.
I saw that plenty. Not plenty, but at least 4 times.
I'm just saying.
Browns game.
There's got to be some kind of a strike zone that gets put in here for this.
I thought that funny ass fucking play with Ward, where he hit that guy pretty clean, caught a little bit of the helmet with his shoulder, and the guy lost the ball as a turnover.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get called for targeting or something on that, because he caught a little bit of the chin or the face guard with his shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't love it. I don't love anything that came out of it.
But my question is that business decision. Do you think in this day and age there's still, hey, take that guy out if you can?
I think for the most part, no. I think that guys that are pieces of shit, like there's teams that will
plenty of pieces of shit.
Right, but guys will target guys that are pieces of shit. Like, that does happen. But I don't think he was actually trying to take out Chubb. Like, I don't think he was focusing like, I'm going to blow this guy's fucking knee out. But I don't think that he was erring on the side of Nick Chubb's health either. You know what I mean? Like,
haven't watched the replay, and I won't.
It's not good. Steelers fans are like, oh, he was being blocked. He came out and said, as soon as he saw it, he knew he was going low. Like, any defense that anybody has for him is out. And just like if you're going to take a shot at a guy going over the middle and he goes like this to make the catch and you take his fucking head off, even though you were aiming 6 inches higher, but he crouched, you're still fucking responsible for it.
Amen.
And I think that has to go both ways. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe
they changed the rule when Tom Brady got taken out.
Maybe because it's not. Well, listen, it's not good for football.
Right.
What did I say at the beginning of this season, 2 weeks ago, sitting right here? We got 4 good teams in the division. I said, this is so much fun. Let them go at it.
Yeah.
Let them have fun, see who wins. Whether your team does or not, it is the way it is. Now, well, we know the Browns aren't at full strength for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And who knows? It could be his career.
Yeah.
You don't know. I don't think so, unless he decides to make it a career. Yep. Because I don't know if anybody ever pays attention, but he posts his workouts almost weekly.
He's a fucking animal.
And he's got that different mentality. Well, of course, a lot of those guys probably do, but he's got a little bit different where I don't think he gives up quite yet, but we'll see.
Who, Chubb?
Yeah.
Chubb's coming back.
I think he will.
I don't think it's a question.
But you don't know. I mean,
Chubb's coming unless medically he can't.
That's what I mean.
They haven't announced what actually happened yet, though.
No.
So
it'd be funny if everything was fine and he just came back in a couple weeks.
That's not the case.
I know.
I mean, we can all pray, but I think
No,
the
I'm not even-
organization knows more than we do. and
Listen,
it's
when
just not
it
out
comes
yet.
to sports, I don't pray because do you really think God's involved with sports? I always cracks me up when you see the ladies at the baseball games and it's the ninth inning and they're praying. I'm like, you're praying to God for a fucking game. Fuck you. Save those prayers for something serious like cancer.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Fucking praying for a ball game.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm doing my voodoo and my hoodoo to try to make them win, but I am not praying to God.
Yeah. I do. One thing I will say, though, that's different than all other sports, man. I love how the NFL gets turned on its head every fucking year.
Yeah.
You got teams like the Bengals that are 0-2 and haven't looked good
Yeah.
yet. But then you also have 3 teams. You have Atlanta, you have Washington, and you have Tampa that are all fucking 2-0.
Yeah.
Like,
Who's quarterback in Atlanta?
a young kid, Ritter from Cincinnati. He played for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
By the way, and I don't know if I mentioned this on air before. I know I've mentioned it to you. I don't know if it's clicked yet, but you've got a Norton kid on your Bears team.
Yeah.
Tyler Scott.
Yeah.
Wide receiver. I think he's returning punts or kickoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know how well he's doing. I know the first game he caught 2 receptions.
Yeah. He won't get to play much this year, but good-looking young kid. Nice kid.
He's not real tall, not real big, but
He's a ninja.
he's a ninja.
He's a speeder.
yeah.
Yeah.
Out of Cincinnati.
Yeah. So anything else on the NFL? Because I do got to get your opinion on one other thing here. Football related before we move out of football.
That's all I got.
So
What did we get on that?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Hunting and football, we got to be at 40 minutes.
Holy shit, that's almost the whole show.
Really?
51, baby.
That's all right.
We're going an hour and a half.
Fuck it. We're allowed. It's our fucking show.
Are we allowed?
Rogan goes 3 hours.
Ah! Can we do an hour and a half?
Right. The meatloaf.
The meatloaf.
See, that's Wedding Crashers, not Anchorman. So
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome.
Tits McGee.
You getting a little jacked for Saturday fucking night? Huh? You ready?
Oh, is it
You
this
fucking
Saturday?
jacked, man?
You know why I didn't know?
Woo!
You know why I didn't know? It was
Tell
this
me.
Saturday.
Notre Dame, Ohio State this Saturday night, 7:30.
The reason why I didn't know is because I haven't watched a fucking ounce of these rent-a-win bullshit games. Although, I will tell you it was last Saturday evening. And I'm like, I want to watch some football. So I turn it on. Of course, Michigan's on. And I'm like, you know what? Appalachian State, baby. Let's see what happens here. And they played them tough for the first quarter and a half, almost 2 quarters.
Yep.
And I thought, oh my God, but they fucked up some shit. Well, then the quarterback, second string quarterback for Bowling Green, looked really good.
Yeah.
He was throwing shit in fucking baskets.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was gone. I didn't even know what happened to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, I'm sure Michigan won that game.
They did.
I turned it off. It was 7-6 though.
Yeah. I'm amped for Saturday night, man. It's going to be fucking awesome.
So here's something that you probably know and I don't because I haven't watched any of those games.
Yeah.
Who's the quarterback? Or they still don't know?
Who?
The Buckeyes.
What's his name? They used both kids the first 2 weeks, and then they said before last game, like, what's his name? McCord? Is that his name? I think.
Was that the guy that started game 1?
Yeah, he's the kid that
Okay.
he's not the athletic kid. He's the one with the laser rocket arm.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So how does he look?
he looks okay. I mean, like,
'Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. When C.J. Stroud was in his freshman year, people were like, "He's not bad." I thought he looked horrible.
C.J. Stroud's amazing.
Okay, not in his freshman year. He had a lot of things to work out, which you should in your freshman year.
I'm just saying he's really good. But no, this kid looks really good. But that's one of the things that's a stark difference. So that kid's going to make you 4th start this week, right? Notre Dame's quarterback transferred in from Wake Forest, Sam Hartman, is the ACC's all-time leader in yards, completions, and touchdowns. I think through 3 games he's got 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, he's a gamer. Like, he's not going to blow you off the stat sheet when it comes to, like, he's not going to be that 6'4" prototypical. He's 6'2", but throws a great ball, always under control. Like, I don't think Notre Dame's going to win, but I think for 2 years in a row, they're at least going to play a very good game and make Ohio State earn it.
Well, I'm looking forward to the first real Buckeyes game of the year because
It's a
I don't know
huge
why
game
they
for
do
both
this.
teams.
I mean, I shouldn't say that. I know why they do these rent-a-win games. They give the money to the small schools. The bigger schools get to cut their teeth on these little teams. I get it, but it's so stupid.
It's good for college football.
I would rather week
It's
1
good.
be Michigan Buckeyes. Let's go.
No, but the other part that's nice is if you have Notre Dame, Ohio State week 1. You have Alabama, Georgia week 2. Then you get games like Colorado State and Colorado that don't get the billing that they did last weekend, and they turn in an all-time great double overtime game with Coach Prime
but who
being
was
the biggest
watching?
thing. The entire country.
I didn't.
Dude, they are
Prime.
Dude, they are becoming must-watch football. Like what's going on at Colorado? It's changing college football. It's incredible.
Well, it's not them changing. It's,
No.
It's
They're changing the entire landscape of college football out there.
well, Deion Sanders is.
Right, but Deion Sanders, the school is getting behind and basically letting him do whatever he wants to
That's
do.
what I mean, but it's Deion Sanders.
Dude, you're talking a team that was 1-11 last year, is now 2-0 ranked, and they have like 50 new kids in the program in 1 year.
Well, are you surprised?
It's amazing. Like this
Deion
is
Sanders may have been the most talented person in the NFL ever.
I'm not going to go that far.
He's pretty fucking athletic. I mean,
I think he's the best corner of all time. All I'm saying is, and we can. This is
who was the
difference.
last two-way player that you can name?
I don't give a shit about two-way players. The greatest athlete in any sport at their position of all time is Jerry Rice. There's not really anybody close in my
You
book.
scared me. I thought you were going to say Bonds.
No, that's a different animal completely. There's other players that hit the ball for power. There's other guys that steal bases like that. Dude, there's nobody before,
I'm not gonna
ever
dog on Jerry.
that could even compare to what he
He's
did
like
though.
65 and still running through the living rooms on commercials.
Dude, but like he's got more yards like in the second half of his career than most guys that are in the Hall of Fame had in their career. He's the only position player with 200 touchdowns. There's only like 8 guys that even have 100. Like this guy's so far off the charts with everything. But no, Prime is different. Like as a player at Florida State, he was incredible. Incredible as a player the entire time he was in the NFL. You know what I mean? Basically led the backfield for 3 different teams. Like you're talking punt returner. You know what I mean? Wasn't really ever much as an offensive threat. You know what I mean? Like there was a couple years the Cowboys put him back there and had some gadget plays and shit. You know what I mean? But like kicking that guy the ball, I mean, he was Hester before Hester. You know what I mean? Like nobody wanted to kick the ball to fucking Prime, you know? But like he's also what I love.
Can we call him Prime Time?
No, he's Coach Prime.
Prime is a fucking drink.
It's Coach Prime.
Stupid.
But you know what I love? You know what I love about this guy though? And like this is where I think that it's great. He's got all these kids coming in, all these JUCO kids that are transferring in. He's building all this talent around him. He doesn't put up with 1 ounce of bullshit. If you are disrespectful to a fucking woman, you bench. If you're disrespectful to a coach or a referee, you're going to get benched. Everything is about respecting your teammates and the game and his religion. And as much as he's a loud and kind of flamboyant kind of guy, he is also very much about the respect and the dignity of the entire thing, to where there's other programs that, you know, you watch. Again, I'm not trying to throw shade at a guy that you rooted for years, but like you watch the Swamp People documentary on
I haven't watched
on
it
Netflix about the Florida Gators. Holy shit, the amount of bullshit that program put up with to keep talented kids fucking playing, it's unfucking believable.
Well, that's the norm.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I love what he's doing. He's not only bringing in talent, he's holding that talent to a whole different kind of level.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no.
it's good for college
I
football.
did see a small snippet of him talking. They were talking about kids getting paid. He says, yeah, I definitely. He goes, I'll go to bat for all my guys. He goes, but I don't want it to get bigger than the game.
Right.
He goes, I want that to be, you know, like the apple I get for playing hard.
Yeah.
Not the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
So
Like that's one of the things I thought was pretty cool. So Hartman, the quarterback we were just talking about, he part of his NIL deal, he's got some headphone company, right? One of the things that he made part of his deal, he got headphones for everybody on the team.
cool.
Like shit like that.
That's
You know what I mean?
You should be doing.
But I'm excited. This is the biggest college football game early in the season like this. It should be a good one. You know what I mean?
This is the type of game that the Buckeyes would lose, just because it's Ohio. But they, you know, if we have to root
I'm
for,
hoping.
if we had one luckiest team to root for, it would definitely be the Scarlet and Gray.
What, for you?
Yes.
I mean, lucky. You don't do that team. That's your saving grace as an all Ohio guy.
Okay. When I say luck, I mean like it's 3rd and 10, 4 plays in 4 series or not series, whatever. It's 3rd and 10 4 times in a row
Yeah.
on one drive, and they complete it.
Yeah.
Shit that just doesn't normally happen.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where I could watch the Browns do that, and it's punt, punt, punt.
Yeah. So I'm willing to bet you a beer on the game.
A beer?
Yeah.
You're not even drinking right now.
But doesn't matter.
You can put it in your fridge for later.
22-ounce beer.
A 22 ounce.
Yep. So
you already know what you want.
you actually got it. No, I don't care what it is. You pick it. I don't care if it's fucking laser. Like you can pick whatever the fuck you want it to be. You can give me a Mickey's fucking tall boy. I don't give a fuck. But I mean, I'll get you whatever. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm gonna want a 22 ounce
High Life?
Miller High Life. it won't even break the bank.
It is the champagne of beers. All right.
Oh god.
Go beer on the game?
Sure.
All right, fuck it. We got a bet.
Come on, hit it. All right.
Hey, oh, Glory. All right. What else we want to touch on before the show's over?
Oh,
give
my
me
God.
one more topic that's not sports.
Oh my god. So I have.
Oh God.
Oh, this is good. Let me just read what I wrote here.
All right.
Dumbass neighbors.
Oh.
Now I've got this guy behind me that we don't get along with, and for you that are new to the show or haven't been listening all this long,
He's a peach.
this guy we call him BP, which would stand for Border Patrol,
Oh.
not bitch pussy.
Whoa.
But it's we call him that because he scours his border and looks, it's almost like, the wiffle ball goes in the yard. You're like, oh shit, we better go get that fast.
Yeah.
It's bad. Now, we don't get along with this guy. Said that once already. So the house, we've been doing some fixing ups and stuff like that. We got the house sided,
Yeah.
and I have some security cameras. Not that I live in the most elaborate neighborhood or I'm worried about thieves, but at one point we were worried about thieves, so we put these things up.
Yeah.
Had them for quite some time now. So before the new siding came up, I was removing the camera so the siding can go up, and I was putting them back on. As I was removing the two on the sides, I had realized, genius move, that I had like caulked these things in, but not just with caulk, with probably liquid nail.
Oh.
Shit was not going. It was not. You could not rescind this. So I'm pulling these cameras off and doink, wires just hanging out the wall.
That's fine.
So I knew they're not real expensive, $30 or whatever. A camera. So once the siding got on, I ordered 2 new ones, put them on, and these things are fun. These things aren't just stationary mounted. So these are just the 2 on the end. All the other ones I have, which I've got 6 total, all the other ones are stationary mounted. They're just sitting one spot.
Okay.
These are the ones that look semi-professional, and you can actually turn them. You can look around, Well, I don't point my cameras at this guy.
Yeah.
I have them literally to make sure if somebody gets into my shed,
Yeah.
I can see who the fuck got into my fucking shed and report it to the cops.
Sure.
Or if somebody breaks into my house. This is just literally for security. Can I turn them towards him? Yes. But these things also have a feature on them that you can. It's real cheap sounding, but you hit the button on the screen and it makes a little alarm. Whoop, 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 like you won at Battleship or something, right?
Okay.
And I can't believe this. So Donna was fucking with him. And this first part, I was glad. He comes around and he likes to go right down the edge of the property, and he usually goes into our yard and he's spraying shit.
Yeah.
I hate that. Spray shit. He's got a large yard that he never uses. I mean, we're talking probably a half acre that he never uses.
Yeah.
But he's the guy out there spending 3 hours mowing it, whatever. Do what you got to do.
Sure.
But he wants to spray the shit in our yard.
Yeah.
You got enough yard. Manage your weeds over there.
Yeah.
So he's over by the back corner of our house where one of these cameras are. Now, the camera is not facing him.
Yeah.
But so she makes that thing go off. It freaked his freak. He freaking ran away. He went, took his shit, and she ran in the house. She was laughing so hard. And then he's got a son that's like 20 and his wife. They all come out and they're standing behind our house looking at this thing. I'm thinking, what are they doing? What in the world are they doing?
Yeah.
It's a camera. It's not facing at you. But what are you looking at?
Yeah.
Trying to get the make and model, going to investigate what this thing is. I don't know. And then as they're walking back, they can see one on the other side, which is on my patio area. So that was just kind of funny. So a few days ago, I shouldn't even be telling this story. Not that these people fucking listen to this show.
Right.
But if they did, it would blow it because this is so fucking hilarious. So it's morning. It's like 7:45. She shouldn't be doing this. It's too early for this kind of shit. I'm still in fucking bed. Or maybe I'm just getting up. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it was. She sees the boy leave his car, and he's walking into the house, and she makes it go off. And he turns around. They think these things are motion detected. And he starts like walking backwards, walking forwards, and she keeps making it go off. And then he's like, Then he goes up to the window and his mom's talking to him. He's like, and then they're talking about something, and then he's like trying to make it go off again, and she makes it go off like 3 or 4 times. She makes it go off.
So she's just fucking with him at
Yeah,
this point.
but this is like 100 feet from our house.
Holy shit.
So that was the morning, and then I get home, and she goes, oh my God, they're in the backyard. They got something. So I'm peeking out through the kitchen window, and you know those hooks like for like flowers?
Yeah.
Those huge ones, the big like 4 or 5 foot ones.
Yeah.
He goes to the one side of the yard, and he's he's pounding this like he's trying to get to China. Bam, bam, sledgehammer. It's crooked as fuck, but he's got that thing in there, and he goes to the other end where the other camera is, and he just pounds on it. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's gonna do. He's not technologically sound. He can't even put a fucking swing set together by himself. I swear to God.
Okay.
He has to have his brother to help him with this shit. So, and then they leave, and we're like, what the fuck? And she goes, what are they gonna do? I said, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna put some. First thing I thought was like, he went and bought something that's gonna be like a beam, like a garage door beam.
Yeah.
And if it goes off, it's gonna make some loud noise. Because my son sometimes hits his wiffle balls over there, and I'm like, maybe they just want to put some noisemakers or something out, like we've got.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm like, kind of telling my wife, see what you did. See what we're doing here.
Right.
I mean, and then all of a sudden, it changed, and I took back every word I said for her. This guy went and bought 2 tie-dye wind socks. Put a wind sock. Now this is like a 5 foot in the air wind sock and a 5 foot in the air wind sock. And right away, because I have superhuman fast deducting, I'm like, he fucking thinks those things are fucking sensor, like motion sensor, and he's expecting this shit to just be going off all night long, driving the neighbors crazy. Of course, it's manual, so it's been quiet. And the thing is about this guy, that's not even really all that funny. The funny part is to me is this guy has built his whole yard. Remember I told you he spends 3 hours mowing.
Yeah.
He's built his whole yard so he never has to leave the mower. He's got gravel around the house,
Sure.
so he can go right up to it and never has to weed eat. You know, he doesn't get off the mower for nothing.
Sure.
But here's these 2 fucking steaks that he fucking pounded to China, and he's gonna have to get off his mower. The one part he can't even, remember I was telling you he goes by my fence real close?
Yeah.
He can't do it now because of that thing. So I don't know how long these things are gonna last, but I can't wait to watch him trying to pull these things out. What a retard. Douchebag fucking guy. I don't know. I mean, it was all provoked, and it's hilarious.
That's fucking great.
But the fact that we made him go buy, I don't know, $3 air socks. Of course, he had to get the tie-dye. I don't know what that means.
Dude, I gotta tell you, the difference in your fucking neighborhood and mine, I can go almost a year without talking to any of my fucking neighbors. There's never any bullshit. You know what I mean? Once in a while, like, somebody might have accidentally set their car alarm off at 11, you know what I mean? Because somebody's leaving after a ball game or something.
Or somebody's climbing in their front window 3 times because they locked themselves
cute.
out.
That's fucking cute. Right, but still nobody called the cops on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If one of your neighbors fucking did that, you'd be like, we're going to need an officer.
No, you know
what I mean?
It's only them. The people to my right are awesome.
Yeah.
The old man to my right, or I'm sorry, the people to our left are awesome. The guy to my old man to my right, he's great. We actually went and did a good deed for the day.
Yeah.
We on Sunday went over there. He's got glaucoma. He can't hardly see. Lost his wife a couple years ago.
Okay.
He doesn't feel like fucking doing fucking shit because
Sure.
he's always at the grave with his wife. And he was wanting my son, who my son did come over, and he paid him pretty handsomely to help him with some yard work.
Sure.
And then, but he was wanting my son to come back and clean up his patio. He's got this amazingly brick-laid patio.
Yeah.
And some nice stairs and an entryway. Just overgrown.
Okay.
The weeds have come up. So
Sure.
we went over there as a foursome and freaking knocked that shit out.
That's cool.
But you know what?
Look at you go.
Because of the glaucoma,
Yeah.
I don't think he's even noticed.
Right.
But hey, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah. One guy with glaucoma, one guy with anal
But,
glaucoma.
yeah. But, you know, and all the other neighbors, we get along with everybody. It's
Yeah.
just that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You can't get along with everybody.
No, you can't. That's 100% true.
But he makes it, like the other day, and I think I might have said this on the show, my son and I were hitting the wiffle ball over the house to each other.
Yeah.
And I was in the back because if this guy's going to fucking come out, you know, I can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
And he comes out, and I go forget the ball, and I look up, and they're all 3 in the driveway where they can see me. And he says, yells something like, "Stay out of my fucking yard." And then he proceeds to really storm back into the house. I'm like, "Well, you're really tough." I said, "Keep off my fucking fence." And as he's walking, so that's a relationship.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's good.
It's something, I'll tell you that.
But I do get a little bit pissed when the wife, she provokes him. I'm just like,
You've always got great stories about neighborhood action.
did I tell
though.
the
I don't
story
ever
on
have
the air about him? I think I did, about him taking the paint off that. I'm pretty sure I did.
Taking the paint off of what?
The yard marker.
No.
This dude must be the master of masturbating.
Holy shit.
I can't see in his walls, but
I don't know. I was
After-
on board with your deductive logic fucking line until that.
After
dude.
this happened, so Donna was putting tape on this, like the bright orange neon tape on our yard marker.
Yeah.
Basically to tell him where it was.
Sure.
You'd think that the Border Patrol guy would be like, "Yes, that's exactly where it is, and stay off my yard."
Yeah.
But no, he didn't like it. So he would constantly take that tape off. So what are you going to do? She's going to paint it. So she went and put her bright red fucking cherry candy apple red fucking paint on there. And then he went and got some paint thinner. And he left everything back there. That cloth and the rag and his gloves. You could just tell it chewed his hand up, fucking stroking that fucking paint off there. It must have taken him an hour to clean that thing. And you could still see the red on it, but it was like more brown because it's an old yardstake.
Yeah.
And then he went and put Vaseline on it. Do you get what I'm saying here? I mean,
Why was it such a big deal for it to be painted?
it just was, it's the Hatfields and McCoys. You do something, I don't like it. So anyways, she used his rag that was there, wiped that fucking jelly
Vaseline
off
off of it.
and then she put like 5 coats of paint on it. Guess what? It must have been a motherfucker.
But he got it.
No, he never went back. It must have been a bitch and a half, whatever he did the first time with 1 coat of paint. Never went back. It's bright red to this day.
You ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
No.
You haven't?
I have it in the queue, though.
It doesn't give anything away about the movie. There's a scene in the movie where his dad is at home watching TV and the phone rings and he just loses his fucking mind. Like, what motherfucker has the gall to call here at 9:30 on a Tuesday? I can just imagine your fucking neighbor guy just talking about you guys like this incessantly. Like, you just ruin this guy's days all the time by not letting him have his shit the way he wants it.
The precursors. If I could go, I'd spend a week. Go back in the shows. There's a lot of precursors.
Oh,
to this
I know. Trust me. I get it. I'm just
Oh,
saying
my
it's fucking
God.
hilarious to me because I know your disposition too. Like, you're like, is there something funny to laugh about? Great. And if not, well, then fuck you. And like, on you go.
Well, I'm also, in the beginning of all this, I'm like very pacifistic. I don't want to fight with this guy.
Well, nobody wants to fight with a neighbor.
I don't want, this is guys directly behind us. We had,
I mean, you've been there for what, 25 years or whatever it is?
23, 24 years.
Yeah.
It's like we are undoubtedly going to have to deal with this guy
At some fucking point.
all the time while I'm mowing or something's going to happen. So let's just try to make the best of it. But the wife, she don't put up with nothing.
You need to leave a present back there. Like, get a box with a bow, put something in it. Just being nice.
The other thing is about the cameras, though, real quick.
Yeah.
His son was like taking pictures and shit, and I'm like, well, they're either going to the cops or he's trying to figure out what these are and what they're capable of. They obviously are fucking really stupid because they think they're out there moving around, and then their genius plan is win socks.
It's pretty fucking funny though, honestly. Because if it was true, if it really
Right.
was, and then you would have had to fuck with your shit and then turn it
Right.
off. Because I'm telling you, that's what he thinks now. He thinks that you
turned it off.
That you turned the alarm part off.
So
Because
you know what Donna wants to do, right?
just sit there for hours and
No.
fuck with him.
Yeah, she does. But as soon as he pulls that shit out and they're walking back to the meh, 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 meh.
Holy
and you would say, I'm sorry, I'm such a child, right?
Oh, I would, yes.
Oh, fucking
Because I'm a
Abe.
child. That's fucking great.
Oh, fucking shit.
Well, I think that leads into our closing.
No, I got one more.
Okay, do
I
it.
have to do one more.
No, let's do
And
it.
it kind of has to do, this almost rolls in.
All right.
This is the new segment on the show, Ask Jake.
All right.
Now, I've had a lot of Ask Jakes.
Yes.
But we're just going to call it a fucking segment.
Yeah.
What can we do here?
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
All
Fuck
right.
yeah.
Okay. Would it be illegal to have my gun holstered while I mow my yard?
No. 100% legal. 100% fucking legal.
Because I was going to do that.
Yeah. But you have...
You can't reach for it, though. And you can't brandish it like, look at this. Right?
Right. Like, you can't make any...
I can't, like, stick my hip out and be like, look what I got here.
Nope. Can't do any of that.
Yeah.
You can't make any kind of a forceful show of it.
I guarantee he's going to call the cops on me if I do, though.
Right. Now, to the left, like, you have to check your local municipality rules. But, like, in Ohio... It's up to the municipalities. Like, you're allowed to carry openly in town.
Right.
Most places. Like, there are cities that have ordinances that say that you can't open carry
Now, I know.
in public spaces, shit like that.
Yeah,
But, like,
right.
on your own property, dude, fuck yeah. If you want to sit outside and clean your gun in your fucking backyard all fucking day long, every fucking day, there is no way that they can stop that.
Yeah, like I said, I know some of the rules. I know you can't be, like, flipping the freaking latch on your...
Yep, that's a big no-no too. No show of force. Like that's an easy way to look at it. I mean, honestly, if anybody could misconstrue it as a fucking show of force, you shouldn't fucking do it.
But now I'm not going to do this because once again, it's just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Especially because I would be doing it for this guy.
Yeah.
And because when I would be mowing, I would be actually on the property line.
Yeah.
And where he could say he was on my property with it, right?
Yeah.
And that could be misconstrued as whatever.
Yeah.
So, but the thought popped in my head. And the other reason the thought popped in my head, because I was in Acme the other day, the grocery store, and a guy's walking around with a big fucking Bowie knife in its fucking sheath on his hip, but he had a long shirt, but you could still see the 5 inches of fucking leather.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that legal? I know the guns are.
100%. 100%.
But he still can't reach for it, right? I mean, that's...
Not in a threatening manner,
Right.
because then it's assault with a deadly weapon.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with doing shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
you got to know what the fuck you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that in your yard, though, for fucking sure.
Let's see where we're at here.
I love that. You can ask Jake anything you want. That's super fun.
Yeah. Let's call it.
All right.
Here we go.
Well, if it's crazy neighbor or anything else, if you're struggling with your mental health and you just don't know what to do yourself a favor, pick up the phone, call 1-800-662-4357. That is the National Mental Health Awareness Hotline. Give them a call. Somebody will be there to help you.
Absolutely. So if you're having problems wanting to hurt yourself or others or just can't kick that substance abuse, please give them a call.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. See you guys real soon.
Bip, bip.
Cheerio.
All right, we got to go back into our freeze mode. They can't see us.